What is up, degenerates? Welcome back to Hype Check for yet another video for the UFC. In today's video, I'm doing a full card breakdown, going over each and every fight for UFC Vegas 75, Marvin Vettori versus Cannonier. As always, if you guys are new here, join the fam, hit that like and subscribe button. We're trying to hit that 50k subscribe mark, so if you are new, it does help out the channel a lot. But before we get into anything, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video, and that is Stake, the #1 sportsbook and casino available online, and exclusively for the Hype Check fam. When you use the code HYPE when signing up, I will personally be sending you guys a $75 tip, whether it's to your Stake account, Zelle, Cash App, Venmo. I have all the payment methods. Someone literally just took advantage of this offer last night. So if any of you guys want to take advantage, all you guys got to do, like I said, sign up using the code HYPE, send me a screenshot on Instagram at HypeCheckSports or on Twitter at HypeCheck, and I'll send you over the tip ASAP. But regardless of that, last week, UFC 289 was an absolutely deadly one for me and the team. We absolutely decimated the card. We profited over 5 units, and if Imavov didn't have that head clash with Chris Curtis, it would have been even more units, and I'm looking forward to this upcoming week. So if you are interested in joining the VIP system, it is every single bet that I place, I send out directly to you guys, directly via phone. All you guys got to do is click the top link in the description. It'll bring you over to the Dub Club website. You subscribe to my picks, and you get every single bet that I place right when I place it directly to your phone. So if you are interested, UFC is my main priority. It is my specialty, and this past week was an extremely successful one, like I said. Regardless of that, make sure to comment your favorite bets and picks down below, as myself and know a lot of the other viewers like looking at that as well. And yeah, let's hop into the video. Kicking off the prelims, we got Modestas Bukauskas going up against Pauga. Modestas is the favorite at -192, and Pauga is the underdog at +148. Both fighters are coming off wins. Modestas, he's off his UFC decision win over Tyson Pedro. Pauga, a decision win over Jordan Wright. A classic striker versus grappler matchup. Modestas is the striker, and he'll have a slight height and reach advantage. And to be honest, Pauga isn't even primarily wrestler. He has pretty decent striking. However, if he doesn't add in any takedowns, Modestas should be able to ink out a decision. Betting-wise, I never really held Modestas in a higher guard. He just made his way back into the UFC after being cut. So I just don't really have too much of high hopes, and him being a -200 favorite is a bit of a stretch. He has a negative striking differential. He lands around 3 significant strikes per minute while absorbing over 4, while Pauga, he lands over 4 and absorbs right around 2. However, those stats are quite deceiving, as like I said, if this fight stays on the feet, Modestas, he'll be the more technical and plain and simple better striker. For my money, I'll be going with the underdog here in Pauga. Modestas, like I said, being a near 2-1 favorite, it's pretty disrespectful. We're kicking off the card with a dog or pass spot here. On to the next. Next up, we got Ronnie Lawrence going up against Dan Argueta. Lawrence is the favorite at -192, and Dan is the underdog at +149. Lawrence is an 8-2 prospect, looking to bounce back from his decision loss to Kakramanov last year. Dan, on the other hand, is coming off a decision win over Nick Aguirre. A super interesting fight to break down here. 2 primary wrestlers with awful takedown defense going head-to-head. And while I really don't like Lawrence as a 2-1 favorite in the spot, I do think he gets a nod on Saturday. Dan, he's making his bantamweight debut on Saturday. And you guys know I always like fading fighters in their first fight switching down in weight classes. Also, Lawrence has way more experience under his belt, throws more volume on the feet, and is the more accurate striker and wrestler. Lawrence literally averages over 7 takedowns per 15 minutes. Absolutely insane numbers. Betting-wise, it's a favorite to pass spot here. Lawrence should be able to get back in the win column this Saturday. After that, we got Tereza Bleda going up against Gabriella Fernandes. Bleda is the favorite at -263, and Fernandez is the underdog at +200. Both girls are looking to bounce back this weekend. Fernandez, she's coming off a decision loss in her UFC debut. Bleda, the 21-year-old prospect, off a knockout loss to Natalie Silva. This one will be short and sweet. A classic striker versus grappler matchup we have in our hands here. Bleda, she's primarily a wrestler and will have a 3-inch height and 5-inch reach advantage in this spot. Fernandez will have the better footwork and more power behind her punches. Betting-wise, this fight will come down to whether or not Bleda is able to take Fernandez down, and for my money, I think she will. And when she does take her down, Fernandez tends to be a BJJ practitioner, aka defends off her back without any rush to get back to her feet, a flaw I love to bet against. It's a favorite to pass spot all day here with Bleda. Next up, we got Felipe Bunes going up against Zhalgas Zhumagulov. Zhalgas is a favorite at -167, and Felipe is the underdog at +130. Zhalgas is in a must-win spot, riding a 3-fight skid, most recently via split decision to Charles Johnson. Felipe, he's making his UFC debut on a 2-fight win streak over at LFA. Zhalgas is a fighter I love to hate, as whenever I bet him, the judges rob him. Overall, he's a very good and durable fighter, just it never translates to decision wins. When it goes to the scorecards, he usually gets the L. Felipe, on the other hand, is a BJJ assassin who has slick submissions whenever the fight goes to the mat, but tends to struggle to get the fight there. Betting-wise, while I think Zhalgas is the play, I just can't trust him as of yet in a fight that will 99% be going to the scorecards. He definitely should be able to win, purely due to his massive experience and striking advantage. However, I just don't know if I'm going to be putting money on him in this spot. It's a favorite pass spot here. After that, we got Carlos Hernandez going up against Denise Bondar. Bondar is the favorite at -128, and Hernandez is the underdog at +101. Both fighters are looking to bounce back this Saturday. Bondar is coming off his UFC debut loss to Malcolm Gordon, where he lost via an injury, so don't put too much weight there. Hernandez, he's off a sub-loss to Alan Nascimento earlier this year. Starting off with Bondar, he's a wild man in the octagon. However, we haven't been able to see him really perform in over 3 years. Bondar wants this fight on the mat and will wrestle his opponents down there at all costs. He averages almost 11 takedowns a fight, and Hernandez sits at a 66% takedown defense, which might cause him some big issues on Saturday. However, the betting line has flipped in favor of Bondar, as he originally opened up as the +110 underdog, and if he was still the dog, I would say definitely take a shot on him. But at the current odds, I think we're getting a steal on Hernandez at +money, especially because he's going to be the more aggressive striker, landing almost 5 significant strikes per minute, while also having a black belt in BJJ, so Bondar will always be at risk of getting caught with a wrestling-heavy game plan. It's a dog or pass spot here. On to the next. Next up, we got Kang going up against Cristian Quinonez. Cristian is the favorite at -175, and Kang is the underdog at +137. Both guys are coming off wins. Cristian, he's an 18-3 prospect, currently riding a 5-fight win streak. His most recent win is his UFC debut, where he knocked out Khalid Taha in the first round. Kang is an 18-9 UFC vet, off a decision win over Barcelos. Starting off with Quinonez, he's one of my favorite picks on the entire card. He's 8 years younger, will be putting out way more volume on the feet, and is always down to slug it out with his opponents. The only way I see Kang getting the nod here is if he gets a fluky knockout or puts out a technical masterclass, as he has a massive experience advantage. Regardless, my money will be with the favorite on Saturday, as he can win on the feet and will definitely be adding in a ton of takedowns throughout the fight. On to the next. Next up, we got Jimmy Flick going up against Alessandro Costa. Costa is the favorite at -256, and Flick is the underdog at +195. Both guys are looking to bounce back off losses. Flick off a knockout loss to Charles Johnson. Costa off his UFC debut knockout loss to Amir Albazi. This one will be short and sweet. I don't like either of these guys on Saturday. Both are submission specialists, and I don't really know who will be able to snatch something up first. They also have extremely sketchy chins, so either of them could get knocked out at any point. I'll side with Costa in this one, purely because I think he has more motivation and is definitely the more skilled fighter overall. However, I'll be keeping my money far away from this fight. It's a favorite pass spot here, and I really recommend you guys not parlaying Costa on Saturday. Closing out the prelims, we got Raoni Barcelos going up against Miles Johnson. Barcelos is the favorite at -238, and Johns is the underdog at +180. Barcelos, he's looking to bounce back off a knockout loss to Umar Nurmagomedov. Johns, he's coming off a decision win against Vince Morales. Both these fighters are absolute killers in the octagon, and while I think Barcelos is overall the better fighter wherever this fight goes, Barcelos, he's aging, he's 36, coming off a really brutal knockout. Johns, while he doesn't put out as much volume as Barcelos, he does hit very hard, which may be a recipe for disaster for Barcelos on Saturday. Betting-wise, I think Johns is worth the sprinkle here, especially at near 2-1 underdog odds. What I think is going to happen is that Barcelos will be the favorite that shits the bed and busts everyone parlay. So if that's the case, I might as well sprinkle some money on Johns, as he's more than live to get a finish. Kicking off the main card, we got Muslim Salikhov going up against Nicolas Dalby. Salikhov is the favorite at -196, and Dalby is the underdog at +150. Both guys are coming into this one off wins. Salikhov off a knockout win over Andre Fiallo. Dalby, he's riding 2 straight, most recently a split decision win over Warley Alves. A very underrated fight we got in our hands here. Salikhov, he's a solid overall fighter, good striking, has knockout power, while also mixing in takedowns throughout his fights. The same can be said for Dalby. The main difference between the two is obviously Salikhov's wrestling advantage, but for me, what really sticks out, and is the reason why I'm backing him in this spot, is his striking defense and accuracy. Both these guys are nearing that 40-year mark in their MMA careers, and with Salikhov's one-punch power, I think it'll be trouble for Dalby on Saturday. It's a favorite to pass spot here. After that, we got Nicolas Motta going up against Manuel Torres. Torres is the favorite at -192, and Motta is the underdog at +148. Torres is on a 4-fight win streak, most recently a knockout win over Frank Camacho. Motta is off a knockout win over Cameron Van Camp. A potential fight of the night we have in our hands here. Two guys who love to brawl, embracing the killer be killed attitude. This fight is pretty much guaranteed to end in a finish. Starting off with Torres, he has a slight height and 3-inch reach advantage. He's nearly quadruples Motta's volume on the feet and is a way more accurate and technical striker. Where Motta will have the edge will be with his power, and when he lands, it can put nearly anyone out in the division. Betting-wise, while I see a lot of value in backing Motta at these odds, I think Torres will get the finish on Saturday, especially if this fight gets onto the mat at any point. It's a favorite pass spot here. Next up, we got Pat Sabatini going up against Lucas Almeida. Sabatini is a favorite at -192, and Almeida is the underdog at +148. Sabatini is off a knockout loss to Damon Jackson. Almeida, he's riding 2 straight wins, most recently a knockout win over Mike Trezano. One of the more controversial takes on the card, as I really like Almeida in this spot. Sabatini, while having a massive grappling advantage, averaging nearly 4 takedowns a fight, while Almeida has a lackluster 50% takedown defense. However, Almeida will have a big edge on the striking side of things. He is way more powerful and puts out way more volume. Betting-wise, this will either be an absolute murder by Almeida, or Sabatini will look like a -400 favorite. I'm taking the shot on the underdog this week in the dog or pass spot here. After that, we got Christian Leroy Duncan going up against Arman Petrosyan. Duncan is the favorite at -152, and Petrosyan is the underdog at +118. Both guys are coming off wins. Duncan is an 8-0 prospect coming off his UFC debut win over Dusko Todorovic. Petrosyan, he's off a decision win. Starting off with Duncan, he'll be the younger fighter with a whopping 8-inch reach advantage, and he'll definitely be using it to his advantage, as the fight will without a doubt be staying on the feet for however long it lasts. Duncan is a wild man in that octagon, and he pressures his opponents nonstop until he gets a finish. Petrosyan, on the other hand, is a weathered kickboxer who is very solid overall. Betting-wise, I like Duncan a lot in this spot. Pretty simply, I think his aggression will give him the edge on Saturday. Onto the co-main. Now, we go to the co-main event of the evening with Arman Tsarukyan going up against Joaquin Silva. Tsarukyan is the favorite at -1250, and Silva is the underdog at +640. Tsarukyan, a decision win over Damir Ismagulov his last time out. Silva, he's off a knockout win over Jesse Ronson. This one will be short and sweet. Tsarukyan will dominate Silva in this spot. The only way he loses is by a fluky submission, which 99.9% won't happen. Arman should maul Silva on Saturday. Simple as that. Betting-wise, while I think Tsarukyan is a virtual lock, there's literally zero value on him at these current odds. It's a favorite to pass spot here, but don't bet him. Maybe put him in like your DraftKings lineups, as it's pretty much a guaranteed finish. But other than that, I would stay away from betting it. It's time for the main event of the evening with Marvin Vettori going up against Jared Cannonier. Vettori is the favorite at -119, and Cannonier is the underdog at -108. Both guys are coming off wins. Cannonier, a split decision win over Sean Strickland. Vettori, a unanimous decision win over Roman Dolidze. Starting off with Vettori, he's primarily a wrestler with very decent striking. Cannonier, on the other hand, is a power striker and will be the better striker throughout this fight. He's more technical. Where Vettori edges them out is obviously with the volume. This is MMA, though, and not boxing, and Vettori simply has more weapons in his arsenal to pressure Cannonier against the fence, add in takedowns, and end up winning a hard-earned decision. Vettori is also extremely durable, way younger, and more motivated. Betting-wise, I really like Vettori this weekend, and I think at his current odds, he's pretty much a steal. It's a favorite to pass spot here. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys want to join the hundreds of other members cashing in weekly in the VIP fam, click the link in the top of the comment section or description. Shout out to Stake once again to sponsor today's video. If you need a sportsbook to lock in your bets on, make sure to check them out. All the odds you're hearing in the video are coming directly from Stake. Also exclusively for the Hype Check fam. When you sign up using the code HYPE, I'll be sending you guys a $75 tip. That is the best offer around for any sportsbook of my knowledge. And yeah, good luck, boys. Make sure to comment your favorite bets down below. Peace.